Shocked onlookers watch as Kentucky state troopers grab an elderly man's beard at a hospital and slam him to the ground. It's all caught on video.
In this week's Sunday edition, WDRB's Travis Ragsdale and Jason Riley investigate what sparked it all and how the man fought back.
These videos taken by witnesses are now at the center of a federal lawsuit and an internal police investigation. June 15th, 2016. Kentucky State Police Trooper Jimmy Halcomb responds to the parking lot of Harlan Appalachian Regional Hospital.
On that day, I had received a call to go to the hospital. Reference a guy showing himself to a 17-year-old.
Halcomb says that man was Louis Little.
Mr. Little was sitting in the car, and he did have his pants undone, unzipped and unbuttoned. I told him to get out of the vehicle.
During grand jury testimony in the case against Little, Halcomb says this is the point where he arrested Little.
And after that, I turned him around, I grabbed his arm, and he jerked his arm out. So then I did a straight armbar takedown. I put him on the ground, and that's when he kicked me in the leg.
That is not on video. Then Halcomb says he called for backup.
Sergeant Rob Farley, Detective Kevin Miller, and Detective Josh Hurd.
Farley was the first to get there, and that's when onlookers' cell phones started recording.
He slapped him in the face? Yes!
Watch again, this time in slow motion.
Sergeant Robert Farley showed up and proceeded to walk up to Mr. Little as he was sitting on the ground in handcuffs, not doing anything, not resisting, not acting combative, and slapped him across the face.
According to Little's attorney David Ward, the trooper you see here in the video is Sergeant Rob Farley.
This should have never occurred, and these troopers need to be held accountable for their actions.
The troopers say Little was trying to spit on Farley. That is when Farley and Halcomb got Little on his feet. Another video then shows Halcomb uncuffing Little.
And they allege that they took it off because they needed to readjust them, but they don't recuff them right away.
Little remains uncuffed for about 30 seconds. Then, this happened.
Sergeant Farley grabs him by the beard, rips him down, knees him in the groin, and throws him onto the ground.
The two plainclothes officers you see are detectives Kevin Miller and Josh Howard. While this was going on, people who were watching called 911.
Your state police are over here beating the hell out of a man at the hospital. Who's handcuffed?
We've got people on the way over there, ma'am.
Well, they're beating the hell out of the man. You needed somebody up here to get off the police from beating the handcuffed man.
Okay, I'll let them know.
In February, after KSP officials in Frankfort say they found out about the incident, they launched an internal investigation. According to a spokesperson, that investigation was closed on July 13th. Farley was suspended for 120 days and demoted. The other three troopers were found to have not used excessive force. As a result of the incident, Little was charged with assault, disorderly conduct, resisting arrest, and menacing. But when the Commonwealth's attorney saw all of the evidence, he dropped the charges against Little.
I believe the charges were filed in order to cover up what happened and to cover up their assault and the misconduct that occurred that day.
The Commonwealth's attorney for Harlan County has not returned multiple calls from WDRB News. During the grand jury proceedings, Halcomb never mentioned this, or that he actually took Little out of the handcuffs.
I was trying to get him handcuffed, and I think Detective Miller was trying to hold his legs to keep him from kicking, and he ended up getting kicked too in the chest.
So it took you all of you to try to get him, to even get him handcuffed?
Yeah.
None of the troopers have been charged with a crime. Meanwhile, Little is still facing charges of indecent exposure, but his attorney says those charges are also false. On our website, WDRB's Jason Riley explains how 16 different people under oath have backed up Little's story and explains why attorneys think a KSP supervisor covered up what happened. In the newsroom, Travis Ragsdale, WDRB News.